Welcome to Relatively Speaking 2020. My name's Rosemary, and today I'm going to come with a collective read. These readings are timeless, as time is an illusion that man creates in order to keep things on track, to be confined, to be defined, and to be detailed and limited in a way. So timing is good, as with everything. Everything is divinely timed. But it's also good to be in a flow state. And it's also good to structure what we have in our time, right? All time, in a way, is actually playing out now. If we are not observing it directly with our eyes, we have no guarantees if it's real or not real. So anything that, again, has happened 20 years before our time, being an observer here, there's no guarantee that it's real. It is a matrixing system that we are in. There is a framework of life. This is a school of life. There's also a framework that works as a firewall, depending on if you limit yourself or limit your source, your maker. Even to define something as simple as grass, I defined it, so therefore it is limited. It is limited to its experience as grass. However, it is a living entity. It breathes. It has molecules of motion. You can actually feel it if you close your eyes. So connecting to it, connecting to the essence of it. So it is more than merely just what we call as a blade of grass. So I'm going to do a path, timeline and way. A path of one side is going to be more the intuitive side, the unseen, the astral, right? The eye of Horus. The other side is going to be the eye of Ra, the seen, what is in the light, the yang, right? Yin and yang. And as you work together, again, you become full spectrum. So a lot of us can go in between both perspectives. And oftentimes we do actually balance ourselves between both perspectives. So and some of us actually do traverse one or the other. That is where we see the duality, the us versus them mentality. There really is no us versus them. There really, in a way, is no good versus evil, or good and evil in a way. It's only down to perception. Perception is everything, and relatively speaking to where you are located and what you are observing. To the mouse, cat is evil. The cat is evil for eating the mouse, but the cat is simply and merely doing its only job, its function here. So again, part of the story, a lot of us, and even including myself, think what we think of as the villain in a particular moment that helps to trigger us, because it helps us to grow out of those triggers. So in a way, it helps us to grow into a more full being of us. So I'm going to draw from the Gilded Reverie deck that does not have, they do not make the guidebook for it anymore. If anybody out there who has a guidebook, perhaps you have one, that would be great, but I am going to do it completely intuitively. And even the little QR code that's on the back of the box, they don't make it after you scan it. So if you guys want to help out, you're more than welcome to. And I want to thank you guys for coming in and at least listening. If you'd like, I could do library readings, which are library soul readings. That's what they're called. So basically, it's in a way an Akashic record, but it's the Akashic record that goes beyond just this particular reality, what some people think of as linear past lives. Everything, again, is playing out in a multiverse somewhere, so it's a multiversal Akashic library. But this library is also open to basically anyone that would like to know how to access it. I'm going to take that and leave it right side up. This is going to be for the unseen side, the yin side in a way, the feminine if you want. What is the astral? I'll actually take this one. This one is for the seen side, the yang side, the masculine if you want, or what you see in a 3D world. So what I have for this particular side, the intuitive side, the astral side, I'm going to actually hold it right side up here so you can see it. This is number 17, which is 8, which again is more of this divine. It is 8, which is heaven. It is infinity. That's what 8 is. It's also the Queen of Hearts, so it is representative of the Queen of Hearts, which is the Queen of Cups, basically, in a deck. And it is a divine feminine in their own right, the feminine aspect, the heart of the aspect, the heart of the more compassionate, softer side of things. And this is actually talking more about a union that's coming in on this particular side. We have these two birds here that represent they look like cranes, I'm going to be honest. They could be storks. And they're actually building a nest together. So this is talking about building together, both in a 3D space and also within the astral space. Again, this is a divine union in a way. So the divine union in the astral space, in the place that we know, some of us don't see, right? We feel it more often, but we don't quite see it. So this is talking about making the heaven space with a divine counterpart in your full spectrum self on the astral side. And here we have, it's in reverse. So in a way, again, this is a ring. This is 25, which is 7, which is the complete balance, right? In your 3D space. It is also the ace of clubs, which is your Ace of Wands, which is, again, a new offering, a new domestic offering, right? A new offering both in business ventures, in ideas, and also in the home front. So it's talking about building a home space. Now, in a ring, this particular ring is also talking about, again, a commitment. It is upside down, it is reverse. It's not saying that there isn't going to be a commitment. It's saying that this commitment is on a delay in a way in a 3D because, again, these two sides are reflective of each other. As we do something in a 3D space, it reflects back into our spiritual side or astral side. Think of it in the terms of a video game where you're controlling an avatar. Again, this is the avatar that I am controlling, conscious and unconscious and subconsciously, right? So my consciousness, the thing that we don't quite see, but we do feel, right? We see the effects of in the 3D space, is actually in the dream space. This is actually part of this union coming in. So we're actually seeing it being manifested in a 3D space. So a lot of us out there are going, yes, okay, we get it. Where is it, right? When is it happening? In a divine union in a way. So it is on the way. It is actually, this is more talking about faith. This is talking about building in the spiritual and actually maintaining what you're seeing in the spiritual, because what we see in the spiritual sense is also what again, it's what we resonate with. If we want to go and jump into a timeline, I should say, but to bring, I say timeline, but bring it into the 3D space, resonate as if you're already living it. Again, your subconscious is already living it, because while you're already embodying it, that is how you anchor in the space that you want, the dreams that you want. And then you make conscious and effort steps within the 3D space to actually maintain those dreams, to actually get to the building part of this, right? We do require to take the steps in our space. All right, so I'm going to draw from the Akashic Tarot, and I'm going to draw 3 cards. And then I'm going to do to the bridge between, what is the bridge in between, the middle ground, the elements that are, again, reflecting and refracting. A lot of us work sometimes very much in astral and spirit side, and a lot of us work solely in the 3D and only see the 3D. Neither side is bad, but there is a balance point, the harmony that's in the middle when we go back and forth. And it's okay, again, to jump into our shadow emotional side, our subconscious, what we see in our dreams are a lot of times our subconscious working through fears, if we have any, insecurities, if we have any, and our shadow side, our egos. And when we go into the 3D, we see that reflected and manifested into our day. A lot of times we bring it into our experience, and then this way it helps us to, if we're not seeing something, especially if we're escaping something in a dream, so this way it actually helps us to manifest it in our 3D. We will see that reflected in our day through the people, through our thoughts, through situations, scenarios. So it'll actually start to go back and forth. It's kind of like a ping pong. Whereas we can stay in the middle ground and literally flow through our day and understand as an observer, observing things objectively, and again, maintaining what we focus on. Where we put our focus is where our manifestation is going to happen. If we are focused on maintaining a heaven space and building and creating, that is what we're going to be bringing into and manifesting into our reality. If we're focused on things that are a little bit more destructive or in a way more drama, programming, then that is what is going to be programmed into our day and our experience. So this one I'm going to actually cut the deck for. So we have the Two of Scrolls. We have two worlds. So no coincidences here again that we have two here, a divine counterpart in a way. But we have two scrolls. We have two worlds right now. You have, again, we have what is in this particular card, the inside of the home, right? The inside, the subconscious, and the outside, the material world, right? The consciousness, what we see in our daily lives. So we have two worlds here going on, two worlds in a way playing out, which is actually one particular timeline, and it's being reflected and refracted back and forth between each other. This card is saying that, again, this split between the two worlds is actually going to start in a way merging together. So we'll see what the merger point is when I get to the elemental oracle deck when I go down the middle. So what is reflected, we have another 2. We have 22, which is a master number, so I'm not going to break it down. That is Atsum. And Atsum is saying what we learn in this 3D space and learning new skills, but also, again, the spirit realm is what is guiding us. So it's, again, these are very reflective cards. 2, 2, 2. That means we're on the right path. That means, again, even 2 as in duality, that becomes unity. 22, which is also talking about, again, the twin flame aspect of the divine feminine and each person individually coming into union, and which also manifests into a reality space, into the 3D space, in which case when both are divinely in balance, 2, 2, both individuals, then that union comes in. A lot of us are a little impatient with seeing that because we feel it so much within our 3D realm, right? We feel it so much in our subconscious, in our heart space. So Spirit basically is talking what is this card, which is Atsum, and it's very much saying that take what we learn again, and also learn. It's okay to learn new skills. We have this vast toolbox. A lot of us do. A lot of gifts, a lot of abilities, a lot of people coming in, a lot of younger children even coming in have a lot of abilities and are extremely intuitive. So it's saying to actually start utilizing in a 3D space to learn about our 3D space, so that this way we understand the two worlds and the worlds that are coming into union and our subconscious. So this way we're able to actually integrate those together. I'm going to cut the deck one more time, and I'm going to pull more cards. We have 7 of Forces, again, the balance. So 7 of Forces, which is balancing our chakras, but also if you notice this card, it has balancing, it's got literally the scales, right? It's balancing our karma. It's balancing our 3D finances. It's balancing our timing. It's also, again, there's this sun streaming through and this open door. Scrolls that are written in a way. So it's balancing all the forces that we have, our willpower, our soul, our mind, body, and soul, right? So there's a lot of healing to be done with this particular card. And this one is saying, again, there's a balance in the forces coming in. Again, we have the duality, we had the building, right? We had the building with the storks in the beginning. And usually storks represent a new baby, a new idea, right? It could even be children coming into this particular picture. Or it can, in a way, be also, again, a new idea, a new paradigm, right? Coming in. So we have 7 of Forces, which is indicating that, again, to heal our chakra centers, right? If you're in survival mode, that's usually the root chakra. That's your lower back. Some people may have lower back problems, right? It can also go up into the kidneys. Same thing with the sacral chakra, which is your creative center. It can go into the reproductive organs. So this is talking about balancing all of those. And once you start balancing the lower chakras, the survival mode, knowing you're okay, knowing you're safe, you're not in fear mode, what happens is it starts to go up your spine, the 33 vertebrae, and you can actually open your crown, your third eye, right? Your throat chakra, speak your truth, stand in your authenticity. And this actually creates this balance. So balancing our energies out right now, as well as our 3D space. And we have another master number. We have 11. So we have the Ark of the Covenant, which again is a contractual. But the Ark of the Covenant was so much more. The Ark of the Covenant in itself, and even 11. Okay, so 11 is the doorway, right? 1, 1. It's also indicative of the pillars, Boaz and Joachim, which is basically within the tarot as well. But those pillars represent, and there's one dark and one light, it represents the duality. And when they're in union, it represents, again, Dharma. It represents unity, right? So the Ark of the Covenant, is in a way, it was more of a communication device between us and Source. It was the source of power. It also held a lot of, again, the Ten Commandments, but a lot of the old Torahs, right? So this is actually talking about balancing again. And as we balance our energy, this is where we balance where we are with our I say contracts. Contracts are a little more confining. This is more about balancing our energy between us and Source. So it becomes balanced in our 3D space as we're building, right? So that as we write our own story, our own script, that contract that we write for ourselves, our own script, our own movie in a way. We are the heroes of our own movie. We are the villains of our own story, right? Our own movie. So as we write our script, what character do you want to play? In a chess match, in a chess match of a full spectrum entity, a full spectrum being, a source being, right? A source of light here. When we actually start to play a chess match, we are every piece on the board, right? Because we're not just a pawn. We are the player at the board. And a lot of times we're playing against our own ego. And let me tell you, sometimes when you're looking back at yourself, do you really want to win against your own ego? Killing your ego, again, is not something that I would advise. It's controlling your ego. It's saying that your ego's, if it's not in control, your ego is all these, what we call the 7 deadly sins, right? The lust, the greed, the things that are temptation in itself. So it's actually controlling our emotions. It's controlling our ego. Emotions go, right, out of control, and they control us. And a lot of, I'm going to be honest, a lot of what we think of as entities, as demons, as demonic entities, are basically shadow projections of somebody's ego, of somebody's desires, of somebody's, again, and if you take it in as your truth, lies create demons. So our ego is something that does lie to us quite often because it wants that temptation. It wants to be fed. It's like dopamine. It wants to constantly be reproduced. So what happens is if we take that in our core, this is what you get as parasitic attachments. We take them in as truths, and it's not truth. If you exert your control onto somebody else, that is your shadow. It looks like demonic possession. It looks very harsh to another person. So it's not exactly evil. It is literally somebody's shadow that they're not able to control, which is actually caused by trauma. It's a lot of trauma that is not being dealt with. So again, as we go through our traumas, our hurts, because hurt people, healed people also heal people. So as we go through our traumas and heal ourselves, we are then able to help and heal other people. Okay, I have 6 of Forces, the waterfall. Now, this one is in reverse right now. It's talking about, again, the waterfall going the other way. It's in a way almost talking about our emotions in this space. It's more reflective, and that the water, again, we're not in control of it. It's literally not flowing down right now. It's kind of, it feels a little bit stagnant sometimes. That is because we're going through this changing process to bring balance back in. 6 of Forces is 6 is usually a balanced number. It is representing 3 above, 3 below, or 3 forward, back, however you want to look at it. But it being in reverse, we're talking about balancing, again, our forces, our emotions, right? And balancing what we're reflecting back. Water is very flowing. So if it's not flowing in the correct direction, it can cause dis-ease. It can actually even cause, again, what we feel like is being stagnant. So it is asking for us to really look at the reflection of our own emotions right now, especially in the dream space that we're going in, the astral space, however you want to call it, the spiritual realm, in meditation. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? What's being manifested in? And these are very reflective. And here we go. We have, as I did that, we have reflection. So we have 19, which is 10. 1 plus 9 is 10. Which is actually 1, right? We break the numbers down. It's a new beginning. This is talking about as we reflect in our subconscious mind and our 3D space, that reflection is clear. As if you notice, again, this one is right side up when I pulled it. The reflection is clear. It's clear sailing. The moon here is reflecting of the moon is our shadow, right? The moon card in the tarot deck is much of our shadow selves. So this is talking about the reflections are clear. So this is about clearing our reflection, right? Being happy with the person in the mirror. Again, each one of us is a fractal of God's source, right? So if you look in the mirror and you find something that you don't like about yourself, or if even somebody comments about you, about your appearance and about yourself, you are therefore saying that you don't like a creation of source. You do not like God's source, right? So, and it's funny how these, on this 3D side, these are all the major arcana cards in this particular deck. So what we're seeing here is very much world-changing events. We're seeing, we're seeing what is being written come into fruition. We're seeing what the spirit realm, again, the angelics helping to guide us. We are seeing this union, this commitment, this reunion come in. We are seeing the reflective side of it all, again, come into a culmination, right? I am going to do the bridge in between the emotions and energy surrounding it, and then I will pull three, actually. I'm going to pull 3 cards of the Oracle deck that I have, which is the Start and Beginning one. And I may actually read from the book to give you a little more clarity, but most of it is self-explanatory on the cards. But again, these are very reflective. A lot of times people are walking one or the other. Some people are very spiritual, very, very spiritual, and some may even neglect the 3D realm, right? And some are very much seeing the 3D realm, and they're not very much looking into the spirit at all. There is a balancing point, again, in the middle here, where, again, a harmonic middle, where you can actually walk this middle path and be conscious of your subconscious, of the astral world as it's playing out in your 3D space, so that you are walking the middle line. You can actually be in 2 places at once. All right, we have 11 reversed. It is the home, it is hearth, it is comfort. So it's talking about a little bit of discomfort right now, right? About in our home space. It's talking again about union. It is reversed. So it's talking about 11 again, this union coming in, our balancing point coming in, but it's asking, Spirit is asking us right now to pay attention to our comfort and our hearth. And I'm going to say hearth, but if you notice that heart is also within hearth, and so is earth. So home is where our heart is, right? As we balance our heart space, our heart and compassion, bring comfort to our hearts. We balance our hearth, which is the fire that therefore burns within us, right? Which is our spirit. It also balances earth and Gaia itself, because as we start to bring balance to us, it brings balance back to Gaia. We are symbiotically related. The Schumann resonance is actually indicative and related to the collective and also source itself, right? That which we are connected to. So as we go through our emotional layers, as we start to unwind ourselves, as we start to wind in towards source, and as we start to, again, know thyself, heal thyself. So we bring this balance point in. And again, it is on hold in a way because it's starting to go through in a specific order. Again, order of operation. So we are unwinding to these truths right now. I have 23, which is 5. I have the cleansing storm. Again, it is cleansing. In a way, it's cleansing earth, right? It's almost in a way, again, if we're looking at this in a reverse section, we have these storms coming in, the cleansing coming in, we have the change coming in, and it is on hold right now. It's on hold because we're cleaning up our own act, right? The hand is in a way upside down because it's kind of like, okay, hold on. So some of us may even feel blocked. Some of us may be blocked with our creativity, blocked with moving forward. Don't think of it in a way as this blockage as something as bad. Think of what is a blockage as a redirection, that you're not looking at a certain scenario in order to heal, or you're not looking at a particular aspect in order to take that step forward. One of the best things that me and a friend we talked about is, again, we use a scenario where if you are building like the porch outside and you start putting steps on and you're standing on the step, so and we're building the step in front of us, right, so that the person behind us can step into our step. But we have to build the porch first for us to step forward, because there's nowhere for this person to occupy on the step that we are occupying. We have to build it, right? Build it and they will come. Oh, 2 of them came out, so I'm going to take both of them. All right, I have 42, which is movement speed. So it is moving fast. Again, 6. The balance is moving fast. It's moving at a divine pace. And I'm saying that because we are going through transformation. This is pressure. A lot of us may be feeling pressure. So maybe feeling a lot of this movement and speed coming in. And I say, again, as these were in a way stagnant or feeling blocked, there is a speeding movement to it. This transformation is starting to come in and pop off in a particular way. This is 26, which is 8. Again, what we started off on this particular side. This transformation process, if you look, it's also DNA upgrades and codes coming in. So there's a speed in movement into downloads and in upgrades coming in right now. And what we feel is pressure. Some of us may be feeling like the pressure headaches in a way. A lot of visions may be very tired, maybe very sluggish. So if you're feeling that, what you're feeling again is a lot of the sun flares coming in, a lot of even the moon energy, a lot of the emotional energy coming through right now is causing this pressure. And again, diamonds are made under pressure, right? That's the transformation process. So these are some of the energies that are going on in between here. That is actually, again, this, if you're in a way looking for balance in your heart space and your cleansing, just know that, again, to go back and forth, to make sure you're in tune with every aspect of yourself, right? Every aspect of both the 3D and the spiritual. If you guys are out there and you don't remember your dreams, it doesn't mean there's anything bad about it. But if you do remember your dreams, or you do have a vision, or you do see synchronicities even in your day, I would suggest keeping a notepad with that and writing it down. If you're able to just remember, that's a great skill to have. And then notice the patterns. Recognize your own patterns and recognize the patterns around you, whether it's in numbering, whether that's in animals, whether it's in the way the sun or the light hits something, words that you see pop out. Start noticing the pattern, and it starts to unlock things within you so that you're able to have this transformation process. All right, I'm going to draw 3 cards. I'm going to cut. So for this side, and I'm not going to actually reverse these. There's really no reverse for this one. I'm not going to. So this is 21, following the path of another. Your path is being redirected to where it should be. So it's, again, this is talking about, again, an eclipse even in a way. Instead of following the path of other people, and what I was just saying about being redirected, this blockage, right? Sometimes when we follow somebody else's path, when we desire something so much, or desire a person or a particular outcome so much, we get redirected. It's almost an eclipse, because what's happening is that instead of taking our own power back and being that sun that's shining behind here, we are allowing somebody to eclipse our own power, right? Our own in potential. And this is 21, so it's talking about in the 3D realm as well. So again, this is something that is going on in astral, which is also happening in the 3D in a way. So following the path of another, your path is being redirected to where it should be. So if we follow somebody else's ideas and missions and path, we're not following what we came here to write. We're not following what we came here to do as human beings, but also to be human beings, right? And enjoy the being process and experience the game for what it is. We are too busy diving into other people's, again, drama or trauma. I use the analogy of somebody's washing machine. And if they're continuously leaving the washing machine on or re-washing it, the same clothes until they're starting to disintegrate at that point, do we want to jump into the washing machine to help that person out? Or do we want to, again, if they don't want the help, do we take that mission on, or we do our own, right? We have our own laundry piling up over here, right? For the middle path, for the harmony in between, I have be authentic. Your way is the only way for you. It's funny, it is number 11 again. Again, your balance, right? That's the balancing in the middle again. So be authentic. Your way is the only way for you. Again, and it is even very much reflected of this card. Your own path, not the path of somebody else, right? Being authentic means, again, being the real you. The way is the only your way, right? There is only your way in this. You are the sole creator in your universe. You are responsible for every experience that comes into your space, and you're responsible for how you react to them. So take accountability for that and balance the energies out. So, and follow your truth, right? Your path. And again, we don't have to exert our truth onto other people. We can tell our story. But we can also, again, realize that every path is valid, and our path, our mission, our personal dreams, don't give up on them. I have miracles happen. Give the universe your clear intentions. 17, which is 8, which would again be what we see in the 3D side. So as we are going through, again, feeling like we're following our own following the path of another, and again, being told to balance and follow our own way, because it is our own, the miracles are happening that give the universe your clear intention. Again, so miracles happen. Be clear with our intention on what we are doing in our 3D space, right? If you want something, it's basically like sources, like you in the universe, God source, however you want to choose to look at it, is basically like a genie in a lamp. Be direct with how you want things to manifest, because you may get what you want, but it may not be what you clearly intended for. And especially, again, if you're going from the heart space, the HEARTh space, right? This way, that our heart space is what actually helps to guide us. It's our guidance system in a way. Our mind is our observation system so that we can navigate. Our heart is our guidance system into where we feel that we should be, right? And where should we sit? Where should we, in a way, where do we feel comfortable with? And if there's something that is feeling uncomfortable, why? Is it from fear? What's the root of that issue? So I'm going to leave that with you guys today. And again, these are timeless ones, so you will come across this message when it is meant for you to come across. And again, it's a collective read, so take what resonates with you and leave the rest for others. And I hope this message helps you out when you do come across it. You're more than welcome to, again, do library soul readings. I do not use tarot cards for these. I actually go within your Akashic field, Akashic library, and go into a multiversal sense to show you your abilities, any traumas, any healings. And I do have the prices for them. You can email me. I will leave my email address at the bottom of this video. You can find us here on YouTube, also at Relatively Speaking 2020 on Facebook. We are redoing our shop, our market shop. We are going to be putting other things up other than the art that I do have up. Other things for sale in a way, but also other ideas, other people's things. We're going to make this, it is a community hub where we start to bring people together, right? So you're more than welcome to check out Facebook. You're more than welcome to ask for commission art. I do paint music and I do paint souls. So with that, I'm going to leave you and thank you for allowing me to give you this message.